Hello, hello, and welcome to February 2023 monthly activation. Usually I'm outside. I love being outside and recording these monthly attunements for you because I get to be in the sunshine and the water is out there. You can't see the water, but there's a lake there and I can hear the birds and all the plants, and it just feels really supportive and nurturing to do the sessions outside. But I'm doing them inside today because I've kind of changed things up a bit. One of the things I love about this work is that it's always evolving and evolving through me. And one of the newest evolutions is the way that I'm doing the drawings. So if you've been watching the videos or doing my weekly sessions, before I would do the drawing ahead of time because that's what I used to do before all my sessions. I would draw all my clients and get all the information, and that would be the first thing I would do for the day. But I had a recent experience with a friend of mine, and I did the drawing live in front of that person and shared the information at the same time. And it was a really potent experience. And so I have been doing them live in real time since then. And there's an interesting connection for me in doing that. So this is why I decided to record this inside. I haven't figured out how to share my screen and record outside at the same time. But I hope that you enjoy the drawing this way. Let me know what you think. And for those of you who are new, I'm Bree Dellerson. I'm an acupuncturist, sound healer, and clairvoyant. And I do these monthly activations to help your vibrational self, your vibrational health, your life force and vitality stay tuned. So it's always flowing and moving in harmony with the cosmic cycles, with your individual life cycles, with the world around you and the world within. Because we want to keep that life force moving. When it stops moving, it creates dissonance in the field. It creates dis-ease. It creates disharmony. And we know when we're out of balance, right? It not only appears maybe in our physical self and in our emotional and mental self, but it can start showing up in the outer world as well. And keeping yourself attuned, whether you do it through daily practices or, these monthly activations, really keeps you in a place of power because you're able to navigate what life brings you with more ease, with more grace, with more confidence, right? Because life is going to happen. And so you can either get tossed about by the waves or you can learn to surf them. I'm not a surfer of the ocean, but I am a surfer of consciousness. And I continue to learn how to surf those waves and teach my clients how to do the same. So I invite you to get on your vibrational surfboard today as we dive into the drawings, which I use as a remote viewing tool to access the information that we are here to address today. And then we will transition into the sounds, which I also use as a remote viewing tool, reading the information that comes through the vibration of these beautiful, beautiful sounds and harmonize the pattern at the same time. So all of the tools that I have in my toolbox are diagnostic and therapeutic at the same time. It lets me know what's going on, and then we'll harmonize that pattern at the same time, which is what I love. And one of the things that I learned as an acupuncturist, we have so many tools in that arena where we are able to see the condition of the body's health and at the same time treat it. And so I love that efficiency, I should say. Okay, so let us dive in, and I hope you enjoy me drawing for you in real time. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So here we are, February 2023. And there's a lot of activity. It almost seems like a frenzy of sorts, chaotic, not knowing which way to go. And it feels like something's falling from the sky. It's coming from above, whatever it is. There's so much happening around you. There's almost a sense of paralysis. You just don't know which way to go, so you stop. You stop. You stop. And you stop. And you can see everybody else kind of running around you in a chaotic state. Almost looks like something you would see in a movie. And then I see a few people off to the side here, small group of people, almost feels like a family. And they're calling over to you. And you don't know if you can trust them, if you should go over there, or if you should stay here where you could, get run over, get trampled by all the people who don't know what they're doing, and they're running around out of fear. They're totally untethered and disconnected and just following everyone else without stopping to connect, to see what's true for them, what's right for them. But you've stopped, and you're noticing the running, and you're feeling the emotions of the fear of the people around you. But then you see a group of people off to the side. Like I said, it looked like a family. It's just a small group, maybe 4 or 5 people. But there's something about them that's very calming to you. It's something very, I'm not going to say peaceful, but there's definitely like, they don't have that state about them. They're not frenzied. They're not fearful. They're not running around. They're just standing there looking for you, almost like calling you into them. You can't hear them, but you can see them, and they're looking at you, and they want you to, they're inviting you in with their energy to come to them. So you begin to make your way through the crowd. It's like driving on a one-way street the opposite way. All the frenzied people are going in one direction, and you're going in the other. And as you get closer to this family, you feel like more and more sense of peace and ease within yourself. All that stress and fear kind of start to leave your nervous system, and it dissipates. And your vision sharpens even, and you can see, it looks like a garden, very nature setting, very natural, very, very fertile, very verdant, very green, a lot of trees and food providing trees and plants. And they hand you something to eat. I want to say it's an apple. Very biblical, right? Looks like an apple. They hand you something to eat, and you take it from them. And they tell you that it's going to also help, calm your nervous system down, to kind of shake off the remnants of the hive mind, of the mob mentality, of the fear-based consciousness. So you graciously receive the nourishing food that they give you, and you do take a bite of this apple, and it had never tasted so good. You've never had an apple taste so good. It's like you could taste the soil, you could taste the water, you could taste the sunlight, you could taste all the nutrients, you could taste the love, you could taste everything that went into that fruit to make it what it was. And, what we normally get at the market is so depleted nutritionally of minerals and vitamins, which is why we are so heavily dependent on supplements these days. And you just feel like all your cells start coming to life and awakening from eating this one fruit, from this apple, the tree of life. If we're going to stay with biblical metaphors, I'm not going to really say it's the tree of life, but it is the tree that restored your vitality, that had awakened your nature and your power and your vitality. Because everything that you just ate within that fruit contained everything that you needed in that moment to restore balance, to restore harmony, to restore vitality, to restore clarity, to restore connection, to restore your groundedness and rootedness in your own being. And in that moment, you had a very clear knowing about what you needed to do and where you needed to go. And you knew that you were going to even go further past than this family. This was just like one stage of where you were headed. They were the first step in your autonomy, in your sovereignty, in your knowing, in your body wisdom, in your heart connection, and the clarity that your heart is now guiding you to, that's connecting you with the adventure that awaits, which is part of your path and purpose. So eating this apple was the first step. And all of this stuff is still going on that you had left. It's still going on in this other, realm almost. And it's like you had taken a step into a new dimension when you did that. You stepped outside of what you had always known into something new because there was something in you calling you to that. And you were courageous enough and brave enough to take that step for yourself. You made a choice in that moment. Do I want to go down this path with all these people running around really chaotic and scared and not thinking from their intelligent self, but cut off from that, from their fear. And yet there was something in you that turned the other way, and you saw an opening for yourself and you took it. And then you became awake and aware. You became awake and aware of yourself, of your power, of your knowing, of your clarity, of which way to go, and to trust that the next step will be revealed for you in that. And there's this overwhelming sense of confidence and self-authority, inner authority that you carry. And it's always been there. You just had to step away from that mindset. You had to step away from that way of thinking. You had to step away from that consciousness that was prevalent in your world, and step into that place of power. And the adventure is just beginning. It's just beginning. So, there you go, my friends. This has kind of been a similar theme that I've noticed recently in some of the other drawings, that it feels like there will be some turbulent times coming, some more turbulent times coming, but to really trust the knowing of your body that knows which way to go. This is not going to get you here, my friends. This is not going to get you here. This is not the one that knows the way. This was not the one that has the ability to see through time and space. This is basically a data processor. It runs off of old programming, right? And we want to begin to cultivate the connection with our body's wisdom, with the messages that it gives us, with its impulses, with its urgings, with its guidance, right? It actually will, move you where you need to be when you get out of the way. So it's been a practice of getting out of the way, dropping your awareness down into the field of the heart, into the body-mind, and trusting your feet, trusting your body. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? And allow your body to let you know. Feel, feel, feel. So I have a feeling the sounds are going to take us there. And let's see where it goes. So wherever you are, just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Notice how your body's feeling in this place. Is it maybe feeling a little nervous? Do you have a bit of electricity going on in your field? Are you a bit fuzzy? Is there noise and interference? Is there noise and interference? We're surrounded by technology, which definitely interferes with your natural electromagnetic radiant self. Those frequencies tend to create noise and interference in your field, as do other people's energies, ancestral patterns, karmic patterns, all of this type of energy, you're carrying within your field. And one of the ways that I like to clear that for myself is to ground myself in nature, to remove myself from technology and anchor myself in the intelligence of the natural world and allow that to bring me back into harmony and flow. For me, walking by the ocean is really a powerful place. So that's just one simple way. So let us close our eyes and notice, if you haven't already, notice how the body feels. Notice your vibration, notice your energy, and notice how high it is or how low it is. Now we're just paying attention We're just paying attention to the sensation our body has right now in this moment. How does your body feel? We're not making up stories about it, why it's this way, how long it's been this way. Oh, this is calling my attention. We're just noticing the sensation. Our body is a beautiful crystalline resonator that's broadcasting and receiving information all the time. So how does your body feel right now? What is the sensation it has? There you go. Beautiful. Stay with that. Just notice the sensation and notice if any thoughts arise as you're noticing the sensation, but keep your awareness on the sensation of the body. There you go. Beautiful. Now from here, let's just take a few breaths into the center of the heart field. Allow the center of the heart field to breathe. Bring that breath in through the center of your heart. Imagine there's a portal in the center of your chest, and it just opens so you can bring that life force into you. There you go. And then release it. So notice how that feels. Notice the sensation the body has as it's inhaling. And then when you release it, notice the sensation as you release the breath. Beautiful. On the next inhale, you're going to find the next inhale where there's no resistance, where there's less resistance. You're going to find that next breath like you're taking a step. There you go. And notice how the body feels here as you let that breath go. Beautiful. And just for a few more rounds with each inhale, find that next breath with even less resistance. How open can that next inhale be? Where is that open and receptive breath? There you go. Beautiful. Notice how the body feels here from this place. Just with these few breaths of finding that place of openness, of receptivity, of no resistance in the breath. There you go. Beautiful. Now notice your body. Notice the body mind. Notice the noise. How has it changed? Beautiful. Beautiful. Now you're anchored in this body awareness. Okay, so imagine your eyes and your ears and all your senses are now in this place where you are, right here in the body. The body might feel a little heavy. That's a normal sensation, right? So bring that awareness down. Now try to think about what you had for breakfast this morning or dinner last night, right? Notice where you went, right? Did you feel yourself? Most people go up, right? You go up into the head. And just want to use this as an example. Now bring yourself back to the breath, that open breath, and notice your awareness drop down with it. Beautiful. Yep, and notice if you have a thought that brings you up or out, just notice it when it happens, and then bring your awareness back to that heart breath. Finding that breath with the most openness, there you go. And then there's just a release of that. There's no holding on to the exhale either. And there's no holding on to the inhale. It's just this beautiful, it's almost like the image I'm being shown is like a mollusk in the water, and the shell, it just opens and closes with the wave, right? With the water's movements, that tidal current, the current that opens and closes you. And as that water moves through that mollusk, it's being filtered, right? So there's this natural filtration of life force that happens. Yes, there you go. Now there's a lot of movement that's being generated from this place with also a higher awareness, a greater awareness. So notice your body now and how it feels Notice this place, this vibration, and bring all your senses here. Bring your listening here. Yes. Bring your inner sight here. Bring it down even more into this field, into this realm that you're in. Bring your sight into this place. Allow your sight to go there. It knows where it is. You just follow your inner sight taking you there. If you knew where your inner sight needed to be in this realm, where would that be? And then gaze from that place. There you go. Beautiful. Beautiful. And your senses, right? Your ability for your body to pick up the energy in the room from this place, the energy from the environment. You're picking it up at this level of awareness, of body awareness, of body intelligence. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now from here, if there's something that you need to make a decision on, there's a choice that you have to make. It doesn't have to be a big one. It could just be any choice. But if there is any choice that comes to mind that you are in the position of having to make a decision right now, bring that to mind. Bring that to mind. Bring that to mind. There you go. And notice where you went to get that. You went to go get that information, right? And then bring it back down into that realm of awareness, that realm of knowing that you were in. Time the breath. There you go. Beautiful. So from this place, the body is going to tell you exactly what you need to do. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to do. So ask yourself the question, do I do this? And see what your body does. Notice if your breath changes. Notice if your body tightens. Or maybe it does the opposite. Now ask yourself the other possibility and notice the response your body has to this. Now sometimes you might not get a clear answer for either, and that's okay too. That's also information. That just means you don't have enough information yet to make a choice. Okay? You're doing a wonderful job tracking your body's response to the question. Right? Sometimes it's very clear, sometimes it's not clear at all, which means we need to wait for that clarity until we have more information. Maybe we also need to ask ourselves a different question. Maybe the question needs to be phrased differently. So try asking yourself a more specific question, a more detailed question. And then see how the body responds. Is it yes? Is it no? And the yes could be expanded, or maybe you feel more at ease, or there's just an inner clarity and knowing. And the no, sometimes for me, the no is there's no change at all. There's no change in my body at all. When I had to make a really big financial choice about 1.5 years ago, I did this very exercise that I'm sharing with you. I saw 2 possibilities, 2 paths. And I went down the path where I didn't make any changes, that my choice was not to continue, not to make that financial investment. And I went down this pathway 1 month from now, 3 months from now, 1 year from now, and my body felt the same. I wasn't getting anywhere. It was very clear. And then I brought myself back to the present moment, and I imagined myself down the other timeline, the other possibility. And I tracked myself a 1 month from now. 3 months from now, 1 year from now. And I got this golden light that expanded from my body, and I knew that was the choice I needed to make. As soon as I knew that, all the fear-based thoughts came up, all those people running around with their heads cut off. I had a visceral response to invest that amount of money into myself at that time. But I knew, my body knew the way, that was the choice I had to make. Now, the only thing I needed to do was follow through on that and trust that. And I did. And as soon as I did that, and I made that investment, and I took that leap of faith, I literally felt my head swirling above me. Like, it was like, I got really, not dizzy, but there was a very palpable, like, spiraling motion on the top of my head, above my head. And I realized sometime later that was me anchoring into that new reality, that new vibrational state. Every time we're making a choice, we're accessing a different state of vibration, a different vibrational reality. We are making choices all the time, most of the time without awareness. But when we began to cultivate the awareness of our body knowing and telling us which way to go, we will always make the right choices. It's the mind that gets in the way. It's the mind which doesn't know the maps. But the body mind has access to all space and time. So it's trusting that sense of knowing, that guidance that you have, that you were born with, that you were designed with, to navigate this realm. And you don't need to start with something big. That was not the first time that I've used my body in that way. It's a natural thing for me to do. I've used it my entire life without awareness, and then became aware of what I was doing and realized that that's how I was navigating my life. And I use that to make all of my decisions, even when I order from a menu, when I go to the market, even when I'm driving. Which way do I want to go to the beach today? Do I want to get on the freeway, or do I want to take the streets? Where do I want to sleep tonight? When I was living the van life and I had to find places to stay all the time, where am I going to sleep tonight that feels safe? My body was the one that I relied on, because my mind could never possibly give me that information. So begin to play with this with yourself in ways that aren't so challenging, with simple things to begin with, like training wheels. Get that going with yourself, build up your confidence, and see what happens. Play this game with yourself. Allow your body to douse for you, Simple way for most of us, depending on how we're designed, is to ask ourselves yes/no questions. For others, it's just an instant knowing. Okay, your body's going to communicate with you differently depending on how you're designed. But explore asking yourself the questions and see what happens. Maybe you need to ask yourself an open-ended question and see what happens. Okay, let's put our awareness here. Drop it in down lower into the field of the heart, and let's navigate from the heart. Let the heart lead the way. Let the intelligence of who you are guide you through life, and you will always get to where you want to go. And you will attract exactly what you need to help you get there. We are not here to know the how. We're just here to know what it is that we want. To have that clarity. And that knowing of what we want and then deciding to do that is what anchors us into that vibrational reality and brings it into form. You are a creator by design. And you have not been creating here. You've been blocking your creations here, most likely. because this is where a lot of the fear-based consciousness resides. It's governed by the kidney energy in Chinese medicine, whose primary emotion is fear. But when it's connected to the heart, we have the courage. We have the courage of the heart to make the right choices, to make the right decisions, and to know which way to go. And then the heart, the thoughts become in sync and entrained with the heart mind. And the heart always knows the way. So, dear ones, I invite you to dive deep into your own heart, to love yourself enough to trust yourself, and play. And play. Get to know your heart. Get to know her music. Get to know how she moves through life. Get to know her pulses. Get to know, what excites her. And do those things. Do what you love. Do what you love. And notice when you go back into the head again. It's going to happen. This is where we've lived most of our life. This is how we were programmed to live. But we are designed to live here. We're designed to live here. This is where the seat of our power lies. Okay? So play with that. Play with that. I invite you to play with that. Just gently notice these things and then invite yourself back to that beautiful, open, receptive breath. Allow your awareness and your senses to drop into that space and then see from here, then feel from here, then listen from here. And then, create from here and see what happens. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful exploration of your own beautiful heart, intelligence, body, wisdom, guidance system. And I look forward to hearing from you and how this session has resonated with you, what you took away from it, what experiences you had. And, I wish you the best on your journey. And if you need more guidance and more specific guidance of how to connect with that, then you're welcome to reach out to me, and I'm happy to speak with you and share with you how I can support you on that part of your journey. Blessings, and thank you for coming together with me to harmonize the nature of oneself.